Hi, mamas and friends. It's Sarah Walday here, and I am the author of the Paranormal Penny Mystery Series and the Honeypot Mystery Series, and many more mysteries to come. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, sit back, and get cozy because today we're going to talk about why I write mysteries. It's so funny. You could probably hear my chickens, but you can also hear the crows outside, which, gave the whole opening a little bit of an ominous presence if you could hear them. Especially since I write a book where the villain is a raven. So that's pretty funny. Anyway, mysteries. Why do I love them? Why do I write them? I guess it comes back to I was kind of raised on mysteries. If you've ever paid attention to any of my dedications, you will realize that my mom got me into mysteries when I was really little. I'm talking really little. We would watch Perry Mason's all the time. I mean, that was like the go-to summer nap time. Sick day was Perry Mason's, old Raymond Burr in black and white. And that was really fun trying to figure out who did it as Perry unwrapped the case. And then when I got a little bit older, it was Remington Steele, Laura Holtz and Remington Steele, Pierce Brosnan, and Stephanie Zimbalist. That was really fun. I love Remington Steele. I still love Remington Steele. And then as I got older, she introduced me to mystery fiction. I think the first full-length mystery novel I read was Where Are the Children by Mary Higgins Clark, and it was spooky and creepy, and I loved it. I had so much fun reading it. After that, I kind of spun off into some other mysteries. I got a little bit into Dean Koontz thanks to a infatuation of mine, and I liked, let's see, that's a little bit more thriller, little verge on horror, but I liked one called Midnight by Dean Koontz and one called TikTok by Dean Koontz. But those are a little bit darker. They still have the mystery element, trying to figure out what's happening and why it's happening. So that was really fun. But Mary Higgins Clark's Where Are the Children was my first mystery novel that I read as, I think, a teenager. I think I was probably 15. After that, in my late teens, my mom got into audiobooks. And at this time, you had to go rent them from a location. It was like a Blockbuster, but only for audiobooks. And I remember her coming home with cassette tapes that we would play in her car and listen to. And the first mystery series I listened to on audio was Diane Mott Davidson's Goldilocks Catering books. And I think the first one was called The Last Suppers. And it was really good. It kept my attention. It was witty and funny. And I was kept guessing who did it. Even though you kind of had a feeling who did it, you were never 100% sure. And I loved it. And I think I tore through that series right alongside my mom. So the main reason why I write mysteries is because I know them. I love them. I was raised on them. They're like, they're like funeral potatoes or your favorite like potluck casserole. They're just part of my childhood, part of what fed me, part of what fed my imagination, part of who I am. If you take my mother out of the equation, which, that's impossible, and who would want to do that? I had a grandmother who loved true crime. Okay, so my mother loved mysteries and still loves mysteries. But her mysteries, she can do darker mysteries, but she tends to veer toward fictional mysteries. My grandmother went more toward true crime, especially gory, like psychopath true crime, where she could really get inside the head of the killer and try to figure out their motives and what made them tick. And as a little girl, she would sit around and we'd be drinking like clearly Canadians, have fake press-on nails on. She'd be doing our makeup and she would be talking to us about lots of different things. But something that always came up was, one, if you ever found yourself a victim of a crime, how to leave evidence. That's kind of gruesome and might be a little bit triggering, but it would be like, make sure you bite your person and make sure if they shove you in the back of the car, leave evidence, pull out your own hair, all this crazy stuff. But then that would always flip to, if you ever committed a crime, how to get away with it. And I'm not going to tell you how, because that's part of the rules of getting away with it. You don't tell how. Yeah. So we would sit around planning the perfect murder together from my mother's mystery novel perspective and my grandmother's true crime perspective. And this is what I did for fun with my with the matriarchs of my family, is we talked about crimes and murder and how to solve them. But along the way, these characters, not so much the true crime, because true crime, even though I'm fascinated with it, I can only take so much before I can't sleep anymore. I love writing mysteries. It doesn't mean I could survive in them. So these characters in these books that we would read or listen to became part of my family. They were my friends. They felt like real life people. We would discuss them as if, hey, is Goldie going to get with this person? Because this person would be really good for her son. This would make a great stepfather. This person's a creep. Let's keep them away. Well, what happened to this person? They're not really involved in this scheme, are they? Do you think they became part of our family, part of our conversations? And so when I started writing, I've always been writing, but when I decided I was going to start publishing and writing for other people besides my family to read, I chose mystery first because I knew it. I know mysteries. I know the beats. I know they're just part of how I think. I'm part, I walk into a grocery store and I'm looking for who looks the most suspicious, who looks like I could run to them for help if something were going to happen. Who do I have to run away from in the parking lot? There's another reason why I'm paranoid. But anyway, so when I decided to challenge myself to write a full-length novel, mystery was the first thing that came to mind. I am also a big lover of sci-fi, and I do have little projects on the side where I feed that part of myself. I love sci-fi. I love sci-fi fantasy and like urban fantasy. I love creatures walking around in everyday life who aren't what they seem. I love those kind of things. However, they're not as deeply entrenched in me as mysteries. In fact, whenever I go to write one of those, it becomes more of a mystery because that's what I know and that's what I love. So I dove into my first novel, full-length novel, during a NaNoWriMo, and decided I was going to make it a mystery. And it was much harder than I expected it to be. You have to find reasons why people are looking for clues where they're looking for them. You have to find proof that doesn't look like it's been staged. And so it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But once I wrote my first one, I was like, okay, I love this book, but this is what I did wrong in my own head. Blah, 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 blah. There wasn't this, there wasn't that, or there was too much this and too much that. So my second novel I tackled was another mystery, and that is still my mom's favorite mystery that I've ever written. She really likes that second one. It's one of my favorites too. It follows the beats really well, I think, and it's enjoyable, and it's got a killer ending, which makes the best mysteries. The killer ending that you kind of saw coming, but weren't 100% sure about. So to sum it up, that's why I write mysteries. It's in my blood. My mom loved mysteries. My grandmother loved mysteries. Even my daughter loves mysteries. And my son too. He likes mysteries as well. Everything from Agatha Christie to more of the thrillers like Dean Koontz. We just love them. We eat them up. And now I write them. Let me know what you like to write. What are your favorite genres? What were you raised on? What do you like to consume and read? Tell me in the comments. I love learning more about you guys. Let me know what's up and how you got into writing what you write. I'll catch you next time, and I'm cheering you on. Bye.